Hey, this is Dani, the channel's You and Me Living Free, and I'm so excited to be bringing you the Hungry Horse video today. Finally, the long-awaited, if you follow regularly, I've been talking about this place for a while. I'm finally going to show you exactly where it is and exactly why I loved it so much, and you will see. I was going to start off with me just driving in and just do a voiceover, but something really just compelled me to get on, and so you can see my face, so I can look into the camera so that I can see you and say hello, because it's been a while since I made a video, and even that video was kind of recorded a little while ago, and so I haven't been making as many videos lately, and so I hope to get back in the swing. Anyway, that's just for you regular people. What I'm really excited for is Hungry Horse Reservoir, showing you the free camping there and how amazing it is. And I want to tell you though that this does show up on iOverlander. However, iOverlander through Google Maps and Apple Maps both took us to the wrong place. So in the course of the video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get there, because there are miles and miles and miles of the road along Hungry Horse Reservoir. There's tons of BLM land and free camping, but this particular spot was so amazing, so far ahead of above all the rest. And I'm going to tell you, this is probably, I'm bad at ranking. If I have to rank things, I'm going to tell you it's definitely my top 5, possibly my single most favorite place I have ever camped. And for people who do camping at campgrounds and camping on BLM land, I'm going to say that of my top 5, I don't think there are any paid campgrounds in there. Are there any? There might be one paid campground in my top 5 or 6 or 7 that is paid. The rest are all free. So if you want me to, let me know if you want me to do a video of my top 5 from my year plus of traveling in the minivan, and let me know if you want me to do my top 5 list. Just now that I've had all this time and all this camping and all these different experiences, I have a much better idea and much better perspective on what would be kind of a favorite and what makes a favorite spot. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's do the drive-in. I'll show you what we're working with, and I'll try not to take too long, just a few minutes before I give you the particulars of how to get there and everything. So let's do this. Okay, here we go. This is just driving in. This is before we even get to the reservoir part. This could be a lot of different places in Montana. It is one of the most gorgeous places to drive. I think Montana and Colorado are my 2 favorite states just to drive through, because even when you're just driving down the street, it's completely gorgeous. And so you get to a good view of the reservoir. That's the part I'm going to have to drive across here in a minute, and I will show you. I wasn't ever worried though. If you know me, you know I have a terrible fear of heights when it comes to driving, especially, or just walking on a trail or whatever. I have a fear of heights, but the structure and the part where you drive across was so solid and so firm, and you were so far from the side, and they had the side built up so far that you really couldn't see over. They don't want to take any chance of anybody like driving over. So, you know, there's no small guardrail or anything. There's just these big concrete blocks. And it's actually even quite hard to see, but that's okay, because we just get peaks of it here, of the gorgeousness yet to come. And we get little peeks and glimpses as we drive back into the BLM area, onto the the forest road. And so we're just going to enjoy every step of it. Here we go. Okay, here's a diagram to help us understand spatially kind of where we're at. We're actually on the bottom, on the south side of the reservoir here, and we're going to go about halfway in. So, and in that picture, you can see all these tributaries, all these little creeks and things that flow into the reservoir and feed it. On iOverlander, this is called Flossie Creek Wild Camping. And you will look, if you look for it, you will find it. However, here's the thing you need to know. When you follow that link and to those GPS coordinates, Apple Maps and Google Maps both took me 7 miles past where I needed to go. Now, if you have been out for a while, you might know this feeling when you have your GPS say to you, you have arrived, and you are smack in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing around you, and no, you have not arrived. And it was so frustrating. The only reason I found this place is because I had a friend who was already there. She had a fancy Garmin that's hooked up with all the campgrounds. And I said, give me directions to where you are from a point that I can actually find with GPS. So I could find this. There was a sign indicating where Lost Johnny Point Campground was, so I knew where that was. It's right when you're first really driving through the reservoir area. So you get yourself to Lost Johnny Point Campground, you come out of there and turn left, and you go literally 8 miles, 8.1 to 8.4 miles, until you see this. This is what it looks like as you're coming in. The reason I said 8.1 miles to 8.4 miles is because there's also a Lost Johnny Point, and I wasn't sure. Just look, as soon as you hit the 8, set your odometer, as soon as you hit 8 miles, look for that, and that's why I showed you the shot of us turning in. So you see that fork in the road, and you know that's where you go in to the Flossie Creek. And so I was going to show you how bad the road was, but you can't really see it. This is a little switchback. It's like 0.4 of a mile to get down to the bottom, and it switches back and forth a couple times. But here we're getting our first glimpse. Look at the little glimpse of paradise down there. We're going to spend about a week down there in that water, flitting around, swimming, watching deer, watching eagles, meeting new people, having fun with friends, having campfires. And this is the first glimpse of it. I was so happy to actually be here. I cannot even tell you. Just wait to get a load of this when I look around. That's how I spent a lot of my time. Okay, here's a few of my deer pictures. I'm just going to flit through them real quick. I'm sorry they're through my screen, but there were some mosquitoes back here in the woods, so I had my screens up all the time. But every day at dawn and at dusk, the deer would come, and so I had to get a bunch of shots of them. And also, at the very end, I'm going to put a video of 3 deer that were running across the road. It is so cute if you want to stick around to the end for the deer video. Anyway, here's a little duck that was out in the water. Okay, I don't know if you can kind of see it. It was in the middle of the screen. Now I'm bringing the camera over because there's an eagle right up there. Oh, look, here comes the eagle. Bald eagle was, we didn't see a nest, but it would come every afternoon and do some hunting. The day before, I saw it swing by, pick up about a 5-inch long minnow, a little fish, and fly away with it. And so today I was worried that it was gonna get my little ducky there. So let's see if we'll see what happens. This video is kind of long, so I'm gonna piece it together. Here we go. If I didn't have the sound recorded over here, you would hear Sharon and I just sending up prayers for this little ducky, that this eagle wasn't gonna just swoop down and carry it away. Here it goes. There's the duck. The duck is still there. Can you see it? It's so tiny, but here goes the eagle flying away. And there's our ducky right there in the middle of the screen, still alive. Thank goodness. Yay, I love a happy ending. This place was teeming with wildlife. So here's a great view of this was literally the view out of my van and just looking onto this little inlet. There's a creek over to the right that's coming in. The Flossie Creek is coming in to the right. And then this is just kind of the view. There's a nice big shade tree right here. I have a picture that's with me and my friends a little later, and it'll kind of show you the shade tree. Actually, the shade from the tree was like on this side in the morning, and then it would just move around the tree as the day went on. And we would move our chairs and just sit all around in the shade of this tree when we weren't in the water. It was our main pastime. But there was so much wildlife, so much beauty, so much gorgeousness here. There were huckleberry bushes around that some of the people picked huckleberries, although it was a little early in their season. And I had a little butterfly or a little moth. I think this is a little butterfly, but I'm not sure. It could be a moth that just was just around me one day and just was spending a lot of time. So I finally got out the video camera. This is one of the weekend days, and there were a lot of other people there. I didn't want to show their faces, but I wanted to show you it gets kind of more crowded on the weekends because a lot of the only people who are here are people who live in Montana and come on the weekends. Here, that gives you an idea. And we're sitting in the shade of our tree there. My one and only regret is that I did not have my kayak because I would have loved to get out on the water and gone into the main area. You know, I'm going to thank my patrons. Don't forget there is a deer video at the very end if you want to stick around. So thank you to my patrons. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 1,000 times thank you to you. I so much appreciate your support and the fun that we have over on Patreon. So hats off to you. Here we go. So how often do you actually see the deer? You actually have your camera out and you can catch the picture. There's another little fawn. So the three of them started to come up, but it's really steep under there. You can't really tell from here, but it's really steep. There was another fawn that didn't make it up the incline to follow Mama and her sister or brother there. And so they were patiently waiting for the other baby to come up. And then there you see her. Look, how cute is that? Okay, I hope it was worth the wait. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you made it to the end, and I'll catch you next time.